Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday or Saturday night. It took me several tries just to get this video out. First two were audio problems, the curse of Sungrad. The third one, I kind of messed with some wrong footage, and I ultimately deleted it. And then finally, the fourth one, I had a bunch of Sekiro gameplay, and for some reason, it wouldn't let me upload it. So I'm just going to show you me gathering for whatever reason. So, the news. I delayed making this video because I basically had to watch a bunch of back-to-back videos of uh, DSP, aka Darkside Parasite, doing his thing. And apparently, his dad was something of a national treasure. He's a legit guy, and his son is just like such a disappointment. But that's none of my business. What I'm getting at is first we had the Nintendo increase, right? And the laugh at oh, Darkside Phil, he's buying two consoles and he can't seem to get any. And I speculated it was one of two things. Number one, he could have been doing a decoy, some kind of diversion to make you think that oh, he didn't actually get the Switch. Two, but he actually bought it. But he wanted to make it some sort of hysterical thing. These YouTube videos that I do, I tend to go off script, so I'm going to do that now. It's only like a 10-minute video. I can't just keep, making videos and pretending like people are going to be interested, sitting down 15, 20 plus minutes listening to my voice and going off the script and stuff. But I do find it funny, and I want to credit K Kai L or KL. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I just see KAI and then L. So he's the guy who broke the news to me yesterday, and I actually made a video about it yesterday within the aforementioned problems and stuff. And then I just kept going over what I wanted to talk about on the topic, how I played games in the past, and ultimately none of that really matters because just to keep it short and sweet for a 10-minute segment video, like I said, Grand Theft Auto 6 was the most important game to release. And I think it was in my second video, I said that Nintendo might want that third party, you know, access. So Grand Theft Auto being probably the most famous case, excuse me, of a game that it just doesn't make any sense for Nintendo to come out with a console and then for it to sit on the shelf or the back end and not have a Grand Theft Auto game for their console specifically. So it will come out. Well, it was supposed to come out Grand Theft Auto 6 fall of 2025, right, of this year. And then so Nintendo would have roughly a 3 to 4 month head start, but the games that it's going to release, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, these aren't games that will last, longer than a couple months, maybe three at most, right? So most likely Nintendo pulled strings and had, you know, the game delayed until next year. Wow, I cannot believe it. Like I used to make fun of Star Citizen contributors, people who used to put money into that game, because to me that seemed like, excuse me, vaporware, like a game that you'll just constantly be buying into and never getting anything out of it because it's in perpetual development. And to see that extend to a lot of different games now, this is the norm. Games are going to take probably 5 to 10 years for the good ones, and probably 1 to 2 years for just every other game because you got to go over the music, the textures, the gameplay, the game engine. Even when companies find a faster means of creating games, it's always going to have like I guess the boundary pushing requirement, okay, of them. Like, let's say they don't want games to like max out the settings on these systems. They want games that are like pushing the boundaries. Like, case in point, Monster Hunter Wilds, right? Like a game that will most likely um, not hit a stable 60 frames per second on native hardware, even struggling to do so on the PlayStation Pro. So, like Grand Theft Auto being pushed back till next year is most likely done for the fact that it's more or less ready, and they just want to have a version for the Switch, but that's probably a game that's been in development for that long. It's probably going to take like over a year to make something like that. And then on top of that, Xbox increasing the price on games and its console. So essentially what I said was true. Streamers are going to be like the plague of, your pockets. They're going to play games before you play them. They're going to have games before you have them. And it's just going to be this awkward realization that you have no chance at, how should I put this? Enjoying what you could in the past. Like, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for you to put down like a couple $100, right? If you had like the newest console and have like a couple games, maybe like a controller or two, or if you know what I mean, like maybe a little something for DLCs online and stuff, right? And now that's the bare minimum just to buy the game. Just to buy the game. And only that, they're coming up with new incentives for you to spend more money. So if you are a streamer and it's your career to make money off of these games, they'll have a day one release, and like, an early release for people who contribute like, you know, an excessive amount of money. And this is going to be the going thing. So in my last video, I predicted that it was going to be something like a single player multiplayer release if they weren't going to go with like one like uh, copy for the entire game. But I also predict now that it's coming on Switch, and seeing as Switch is going to have issues with its memory, mm, yeah, it's most likely going to be two games now, an online component and an offline component. Now, hear me out. This is going to be like the craziest prediction that I'm going to make, right? Most likely, since the game's been, done and it has to get some more polish, it's going to get an early release, maybe sometime early next year, for the demo of the online aspect. Because it's like, what's the stakes, right? Like, there's no single player spoilers. There's no necessity to make the game work beyond its core mechanics. So like the mission structure is just going to be the basics, team deathmatch, possibly some heists and stuff, but more likely like it's a glorified demo, which is funny because the Switch has that too of the game, but it has the online multiplayer feature, which you also have to pay like a subscription for a service for, right? But they want you in the store as soon as possible buying, cosmetics, vehicles, whatever that are going to sell you there. And then when May comes, and they're most likely going to have everything done, like the Switch version, all the other single player content is probably going to be even longer. That's why it's going to have this very large gap in, you know, the release. Well, I'm glad that like I got that off my chest. I mean, I tried so many times releasing this video, but at least, you know, I had to say what I had to say, you know? Well, thanks for watching my video, and have a nice day. Take care.